Seems like whenever I'm drilling a hole in the hinge or any other kind of plate that has a hole for a screw, I'll get comments from people saying that there are special drill bits that you can use for that. And occasionally I'll point out that I had one of those bits before, quite a long time ago. And the problem that I have with it is that they would jam up with chips fairly easily. And so while it is very handy to be able to precisely center the hole, it's not especially fast when you have to stop and clear the chips out after every 2 or 3 holes. Anyway, so I thought it'd be interesting to try to make one since I have no intention of actually buying one. And to get started, I've chucked a piece of 3/8 inch round bar in my wood lathe. What I need to do with this first piece is I need a 1/8 inch hole drilled right down the center. But I had a problem because I didn't lock everything down tight. And you can see it's wobbling around here. It's a little bit off center, and if it was any worse, I would have remade this part again. Even though this is a relatively complex thing to make, the actual precision needed for the parts is fairly low. With that 1/8 inch hole drilled deep enough, I can start reducing the diameter of this part on one end only, and I'm using a very coarse file to do the bulk of the removal, but I notice that it clogs up pretty quickly and I have to keep cleaning it. It doesn't work as efficiently when it's clogged up, and also the bits of metal that are stuck in the file will cut deep grooves in the part. And the way this works is I file so much and then I measure it and then I file a bit more and measure it again. And when I got really close, I switched to a finer file to bring it down to the exact size and also to clean up and smooth the surface. I can then part it off, very much like you do with a wooden piece. And I'm using a triangular file to start the cut, and then I'll finish it with my hacksaw. I can then put it back in the chuck and flip it around because I need to counterbore the other end deep enough for the spring to fit inside. With that done, I can take it out of the chuck again and flip it around and use the file again to angle the tips so that it matches the angle on the head of a screw. With that part mostly finished, I put what was left of the 3/8 inch round bar back in the chuck, and I need to make the end that fits in the drill from this. And this is definitely the least complex part. It just needs a hole down the middle most of the way through to receive the shank of the drill bit. The next part is a little bit more complicated again, and that's the outer sleeve, and I'll be using 1/2 inch round bar to make that. What this needs is a 3/8 inch hole drilled most of the way through. And then that's going to step down at the end to 5/16, and that 5/16 matches the diameter of the nose piece that I already made. And here you can see the way these parts go together and the basic operation, how the nose piece is spring-loaded to move back and forth. I can then put the outer sleeve back in the lathe again and taper down the front end of it just to make it look a little bit more streamlined. All the work on the lathe is done, but I still have other things to do here. I need to bring it over to the drill press and drill and tap a hole for the set screw that will connect the outer sleeve with the end. And this set screw also clamps down on the drill bit to keep that in place. The last machining operation is to make a relief hole in the nose piece, and what this is for is to allow the wood chips to escape. And for some silly reason, I decided to do this the hard way by drilling a series of holes and then monkeying around with the round file, when really what I should have done was grind this out mostly with my angle grinder and then fine tune it with the Dremel. Anyway, so it's finished and it's working well. But of course, this is limited to a range of hole sizes. So I'd really need to make at least one more if I wanted to have one for every conceivable thing I would be doing here in my shop. And I may do that at some point, but not today.